Howdy partners, welcome back to the Video Cowboy. Cowboys and Indians, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. Although I don't know if we're supposed to call them Indians anymore, now we call them Native Americans. Or the ones in the movies and TV, were they Native Americans? Let's talk about three of the most famous ones. First of all, there's Tonto. Tonto, J. Silverheels. Now J. Silverheels was born Harry J. Smith. Yep, Tonto's real name was Harry Smith. He was born in Canada. He's a real Indian. He was a Mohawk. He was born in Indian Territory in Canada. So where'd Silverheels come from? Well, he was a fantastic lacrosse player, and he was so fast and so athletic, his nickname was Silverheels. He was kicking around America, playing lacrosse and Golden Gloves boxing. Ended up in Hollywood. A movie star named Joe E. Brown took a liking to him and he got into the movies. And he was really a very good actor, but he was limited all those years because his dialogue was, let's say, elementary. He was in some big time movies and was a very good actor. As a matter of fact, he was in Key Largo with Edward G. Robinson and Humphrey Bogart, and he more than held his own. Really a fine actor and had a fantastic sense of humor. After he left his gig with the Lone Ranger, he did lots of commercials that showed a real comic bent.
You see, sir, we're on vacation.
Wait, George, I know how to talk to Indians.
Chief, we're big game. Big game in forest.
We're forest.
Forest on mountain.
Forest on mountain. How get forest?
Trail up mountain.
Where's the trail? Why the
Trail very steep. Many rocks.
Look at the rocks.
Me take you.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna rough it. Chow, Chief.
I think it's how, Harry.
Harry, who was that?
George, will you give me a hand?
Introducing the 1970 Chevrolet Blazer. It'll take you almost anywhere.
George, there's got to be a better way.
Hop in.
Blazer. See it at your Chevrolet dealers.
He was on The Tonight Show and did a sketch with Johnny Carson that's absolutely classic because he's no longer with the Lone Ranger. Johnny Carson interviews him for a job at NBC.
Nice of you to come in. Let's see. Let's get right to the application here. May I have the last name, please?
Tonto.
All righty. The first?
Tonto.
And middle?
Tonto.
Tonto?
No. No first or last name, all Tonto.
Well, that's certainly an unusual name.
Just talking about that the other day with Hildegard, Kenton Floss, and Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
Well, Mr. Tonto,
The other one I want to tell you about is Chief Dan George. Again, he's a real Indian, but again, he's from Canada. He was a chief of a tribe that was in Vancouver, northern Vancouver, I believe. He was born Gwynsaith Slahoot, but they took the name George, and later he changed his name to Dan George. And he moved to America and began acting, and this guy was really a fine actor. He was a poetic guy. He wrote books of poetry. He wrote other books and became a great performer. He was in a bunch of big-time movies, not the least of which with Dustin Hoffman in Little Big Man, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award.
Makes my heart sad. A world without human beings has no center to it.
Go where, grandfather?
To the mountain. To the top.
He was also nominated for a Golden Globe. He won the New York Film Critics Award for Best Supporting Actor. This guy was something else. He wrote poetry, he wrote books. He was indeed the chief. Now the next one we want to tell you about is Iron Eyes Cody. May not know the name right off, but this guy was in literally hundreds of movies and television shows. You probably best know Iron Eyes Cody from the public service announcement that he made to keep America beautiful.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Well, now here's the deal on Iron Eyes Cody. He is absolutely, positively not an American Indian or even a Native American. His parents were born in Sicily and they immigrated to Louisiana, and he was born in Vermilion Parish in Louisiana under the name Espero Oscar de Conti. And he became an actor and eventually changed his name to Iron Eyes Cody. And the irony of Iron Eyes is that he probably did more to educate America on the Native American culture. He traveled all around the country. He wore his Indian garb on and off screen. He even took his teepee with him, and when he would go to other towns, he would live in his teepee. But he was not an Indian. But he insisted that he was. When called out on it, he always said, no, he was indeed a Native American. In 1996, the Times-Picayune in New Orleans did a story on him, and they went to his sister, and it was finally his sister who outed him and said, no, he is not an Indian. And even after that, he insisted that he was. That was Iron Eyes Cody. So there are 3 of the great Native Americans that graced your black and white TV screen. Until next time, hasta la vista vaqueros. I'll be seeing you, Wranglers.